Hey, drivers, it's the Brandon Cruz Daily Fantasy Podcast. Usually I say an intro here. I say that if you lose money, it's on you. I'm just here putting my opinions out. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going over the Xfinity Series at Auto Club. And this weekend, this video, I'm going to have a little bit more rants and some of my personal issues or things that I just want to get out there. Haven't done that in a while. So let me get some of this stuff out of the way. First and foremost, yes, I'll help you on Twitter. I won't give you lineups. I don't judge lineups. I don't sell you lineups. So stop giving me a lineup and having me tell you my opinion on it, because I think you're fucking stupid if you're letting someone else see your lineup. Secondly, to figure out who is starting and parking, you need to figure out, you need to look any way you can to see if they're starting and parking. I'm not saying that to be an asshole. I'm just saying that's how it is. Some of these teams have websites. So if you go on their website, it hasn't been updated since 2014. Some of these guys have Twitter accounts, but they don't post anything on their Twitter up until like 5 minutes before the race starts. Some of these teams have Facebook accounts, so they post more on Facebook than they do Twitter. And then some guys just have a personal Facebook, and they announce everything on their personal Facebook, but they don't announce it anywhere else, on Twitter, on their Facebook page, on the website. They don't do anything. So you have to go and look through a lot of places to see if someone is sponsored. That takes me about an hour each weekend, and I keep that information secret for anybody in the DFS Tavern Discord. I always have a list in there of who I think is sponsored, who isn't, when did I find out they had a sponsorship. I keep all that written down, and I let people know that in the DFS Tavern Discord. So I'm not just going to throw that around on Twitter. Third, stop tweeting at drivers and athletes. I think that's so stupid. If they lost you money on DraftKings, don't tweet at somebody. I mean, that's a waste of time. I mean, it's funny as hell. I mean, then there's going to be dumbasses who always do that, and it's always entertaining to watch. But don't be that guy. Don't do that. The only reason you should ever tweet a driver is if you meet him that weekend, you took a picture with him, and then you tweeted him like Monday, like, hey, I met you. Thank you for being cool. Here's a picture of us together. Don't be like, are you going to start and park? Do you have a sponsorship? Hey, what's the plan for the race? You going to be aggressive? What do you think of that? What do you think of that lemon car? Do you have beef with people online? Do you care about fantasy sports at all? Don't waste their time with any of that stuff. And I think that's about it right now. Okay, so let me go over my NASCAR notes for the Auto Club race. I'm trying to get through this kind of quickly. Okay, so entering the Auto Club race, these are the things I'm going to look for and really pay attention to here. So most drivers should start where they should finish. These big type of tracks for the Xfinity Series makes it's pretty difficult on these smaller teams. And when I say smaller teams, I mean about 60% of the field. You got like 10 good cars each and every week, and then you got about 5 cars that aren't the best, but they're better than everybody else. And then 17th on back is just underfunded, sad team. So the race should be green. There should be long green flag runs. A lot of people who caused wrecks last year are kind of out of it. So we're either going to find more people who cause wrecks, or it's going to be a pretty boring race, pretty even distribution of lap times. Everybody will probably end up being separated by about a second. And it's a tough weekend for smaller teams. Sorry, I just whacked the mic right there. The race is tough on tires. Each of these tires, I forgot what the actual price is. I know I've seen it at some point. I know it's over $1,800 per tire. I think it's like $2,000 per tire, somewhere around there. I could be wrong. But I know it's over $1,500. Look, these teams don't want to keep buying tires. They have no incentive. Like if you're gonna show up and run 27th, you have no reason to go through 6 sets of tires at this race. Like, so it's tough in that sense. Secondly, they got the West Coast swing going on. That's financial nightmare for these smaller teams to be all the way across country, separated from their racing shops. And then you got to deal with like just constant motor issues and mechanical issues. This is a bumpy track, and as Limp Bizkit would say, it breaks shit. The RPM issue isn't something that I would really put a lot of weight into, but like, say for example, when they go to Talladega, they set their motor up to run full throttle at a high RPM. If you run it anything less than full throttle, you can damage the motor. So you tune it, you get it ready to run full throttle. At a short track, you tune it to run, on the gas full throttle, off the gas full throttle. So that vehicle is set up to run, easily jump from 6,300 RPM back up to 83, whatever the rev chip is in these cars now. These types of tracks, Michigan, Auto Club, can't think of the other one right now. But these cars are full throttle down the straightaways, probably doing, I forgot what the actual speed is, probably like 191 down the back straightaway. Then you get into turn 3 and you got to let off the gas, probably fully, or at least, 3/4 of a throttle off. You get on the brake, you slow the car down, so you're probably going from 191 to about 190 or 163, 150, somewhere around there in the corners. Then you get back on it, because these are the only cars that are a true NASCAR vehicle, and like the cup cars, you don't have the downforce that those guys have, so you have to get off the gas here. Then you get back on the throttle, so it's a slow rev climb for the engine as they head down the front straightaway. And then once you're back at your rev limit or whatever it is, then you get back off the throttle. And so you do that a whole lot. And on top of the bumps and all that, this is a bumpy track. So it's hard on equipment. And I mean, they're not technically motor issues, not all of them. But Alex Labay had an engine blow up. It's probably a loose oil line, but I just categorize it as a fucking oil, or as a grenade in the motor. Tommy Joe Martins had a fuel leak last week, but he caught on fire. I'm counting that as a motor issue. And then he blew it up again today. So they can't build motors, and I don't trust them until they can show me that they can make it through a race without a mechanical failure. But anyway, getting to mechanical failures, Alex Labay, like I said, had that motor issue in first practice. That took away a lot of practice time for a lot of people in the first practice. I think it was like 22 minutes before they went back green, and so a lot of teams lost that track time. And then Tommy Joe Martins blew another motor at the end of that session. So that took away some more times, and I think people only had about 5 minutes left in the first practice, and then they went on to their break, and then they went on to practice number 2, which a lot of people used for long run speeds. They wanted to see what these cars felt like on a long run. After just having very few laps in practice number 1, I'm going to lean heavily on practice number 2 to see where people are right now. Track time, 5-lap averages. That's what I would really rely on, practice number 2, because that's when a lot of people were out there doing long runs. And you might say, oh, well, Brandon, there's not a lot of 10-lap averages out there. Well, this is a long track. Each lap's like 42 seconds, So a long run here is 5 laps. An extremely long run here is a 10-lap average. So some guys will just run 3 laps and bring it into the pits, run 4 laps, bring it into the pits. It's very hard to do a 5-lap run here in practice, because if all you got to do is 3 laps, and you kind of know what the car has at full speed, so a lot of people will just come down. So if you have a 5-lap average, you only see that 22 guys actually have a 5-lap average here. Don't be concerned by that. That's just the guys who feel more comfortable. If you're worried about that, go look at how many laps each guy did in the second practice. All right, looking at the drivers I liked entering this weekend, not with any data, just guys that I was interested in: Michael Annett, Justin Allgaier, Chase Briscoe, Jeremy Clements, and Brandon Jones. Mainly the teams that are actually funded, that actually have money into the equipment that they have, that actually have an advantage over these underfunded teams. Like I said, this race is people are gonna start where they should finish. The slow car is gonna be in the back, and place differential, why you need to try and find some. All you need to do is find people who can gain 4 positions, 5 positions, and if you're praying to the right god, hopefully your driver can get like 7 positions place differential. The people that I like entering this weekend, and if you want to know why I like them a whole lot, like I said, join the DFS Tavern group. I'll happily go into detail of why I like these guys, but here's the list of names that I'm interested in for tomorrow. Harrison Burton, probably the fastest car right now on the track. Noah Gragson, probably the guy that's the most comfortable on the track. The only guy who ran a 25-lap average. I think he actually ended up doing 26 or 27 laps, but it counts as a 25-lap average. He did the longest run in final practice, and ended up being second fastest 5-lap average. And then he was 6th fastest on the 10 lap, and then 15, only 5 people ran it, but he was fastest there, and so on and so forth. That shows that he's happy with that car. Austin Cindric, Chase Briscoe should be fast in Fords. Daniel Hemrick, I'm not really liking a whole lot. I think there's better plays around him. Justin Allgaier not showing the speed that I wanted to see right off the bat. I don't expect him to do very well in the race tomorrow. I just don't think he's the top of the class. He might finish around 4th or 5th, but, unless he qualifies, 15th or something, that's just not possible. Brandon Jones at 10th, I have some interest in. I like him. He's had some good runs. He's probably the best quote-unquote driver at Joe Gibbs Racing this year. Hopefully he can actually do something. Brandon Brown steps out, looks to me. Last year he finished 15th in this race. He's running 13th right now. He does very well at these 2-mile tracks here at Michigan, or here at Auto Club in Michigan as well. That's where I typically like to see the type of speed they're bringing. He's had some issues here and there last year on the big tracks. I think if he didn't have some mechanical issues or some issues on pit road, he would have finished better in those races. But I'm really interested in Brandon Brown, Ryan Siege as well. Austin Hill, I've been on this team the entire time. It's worked here, busted there. I got an uncomfortable feeling about the amount of ownership that's going to be on Austin Hill. I might try and step away from that. I want to see where he qualifies, see where that goes. If he can stay out of trouble, he'll finish probably top 15. But if he gets in his own way again, he'll end up wrecking or being in a wreck or something. If there's a guy who's going to be in a wreck this year, it's going to be Austin Hill. Guarantee it. I've been pretty spot on so far when I say things like this. So, Robbie Lyons, I like him, sponsored in a good car. Hopefully he'll start about 27th and actually finish, 23rd or something. Landon Castle should start in park. J.J. Ailey should run the entire race. And thank God he finished bad, or at least quote-unquote bad on a DraftKings perspective. Last week he started 5th, finished 22nd. I think he's probably going to start 29th and probably finish around 23rd tomorrow. I like J.J. Ailey a lot. Thank God we're not rained out, at least for this race. Might get rained out tomorrow, but we'll see how it goes. Or Sunday, that is. And who else do I like? Matt Snyder in 93. Last year, that 93 car was used as a start and park car. I think this year they're going to... I think they're going to try and get more... I keep burping. They're going to try and get more points and more laps on that. I'm very curious about Jesse Little and Josh Bilicki. Haven't found anything on sponsorships, but usually they announce it tomorrow, so I like those guys right now. MBM Motorsports is sponsored as well. They did very well last week in a situation where I thought for sure they would start in park. They did not. Chad Fitcham last week started 34th, finished 21st with buttfuck pretty much no good sponsorships on that car. Another thing going on this week is that MBM Motorsports have signed a sponsorship with Manscaped. I have no idea how much money Manscaped is putting in. It's a bigger company. I'm pretty sure you've heard about it. I got my own issues, which I'll rant about in a second. But if this is for real, this could make MBM Motorsports not be a start park race or car whenever they have this guy on. This could be a huge addition, a huge sponsorship to this team. I need to check and see, because right now it's just the Manscaped logo stapled onto the hood of the car. I don't know how real that sponsorship is, but man, I'm pissed off I did not play him last week. I've been playing him every single time. Last week I thought for sure they'd start in park. They did not. I got to figure that out. Manscaped, what the fuck is the point of Manscaped? Like, yes, okay, like I know the answer to that question, but let me ask you a question for real. Dollar Shave Club, that's who I use for my razors. They're a lot cheaper than Gillette. They're a lot cheaper than all these other shitty razors out there. They're like I pay like $7 a month. I get razors. They work perfect. They're the best razors I've ever had. I'm not even sponsored by these guys. I'm just letting you know. Like Manscaped, like if you don't know how to shave your nuts, like or any hair on your chest, your ass crack, your legs, your feet, wherever you're shaving, like if you don't know how to shave properly, that's on you. That's not your fucking, or it might be you buying bad razors. But like if you're struggling to like groom yourself, like that's on you. Like Manscaped to me just seems like it's made for people who just suck at grooming in general, who can't do anything, who keeps nicking themselves, or like who does a horrible job at shaving. Like that's such a weird company. Like there's no way I'd ever be a customer, because I actually know how to shave without cutting myself. I'm not fucking 4. Like I don't get razor burns no matter where I shave. Like I don't get that at all, man. Manscaped, the company for failures who can't shave themselves. What else do I have here? Let's see. The strategy I'm probably going to use is probably a 2-punt strategy. This isn't as bad as when Kyle Busch was in this race and you had to punt with fucking 3 people. I don't think you got to do that. Maybe 2 punts, or maybe play JJ Yaley and then move up to play Robbie Lyons, Landon Castle, Bullocky, Martins, Little. Play one of those guys, or play Bailey Curry or whatever. So you sponsored, obviously, of course. But play probably 2 guys below $6,300. I think you'll be fine. Then you can afford anybody who you really like. Noah Gragson, still too fucking cheap. Brandon Jones, still too cheap. Michael Annett, still too cheap. Brett Moffitt, I don't know why Brett Moffitt is so expensive. I know he's running well, but a lot of things happened in that Las Vegas race. I think Brett Moffitt's a bit overvalued. And the dude only has 1 sponsor on the car, on the O2. That's a black car with 1 sponsor on the hood. That's it. Don't get the pricing there. Don't understand it. Don't think he'll finish that well. Or he might. We'll see where he qualifies, if we need to play him or not. What else? I think that is about it. So let me go over the player pool that I have right now that I'm interested in. Chase Briscoe, Justin Allgaier, Austin Cindric, Noah Gragson, Brandon Jones, Ryan Siege, Michael Annett, Brandon Browns, Jeremy Clements, Matt Snyder, David Starr, Anthony Alfredo, too cheap to be in the 21 car. We'll throw him in that as well. Jesse Little, Robbie Lyons, Chad Fitchup, JJ Yaley. Those are probably the main guys. And Kyle Weatherman. Apparently they're sponsored too. Like, I don't fucking get it, man. I don't get these sponsors. One of these guys is sponsored by the Charles Daniels Band. I don't fucking get it. Like, if Charles Daniels, or Charlie Daniels, my bad. If Charlie Daniels is sponsoring your car, like, shouldn't you run better? Like, I don't give a shit if he's a family friend. Yeah, the 47 has the Charlie Daniels Band sponsoring him. What the fuck? Like, that's either you're going to run really well or it won't do anything. I don't get it, man. I don't understand it. Then Ripper Mangoes is sponsoring David Starr in the 6. And I shared these on Twitter. These are just kind of interesting, like, sponsors that I saw. It's more of like, what the fuck is going on here than anything. But yeah, so that's that. This weekend's going to be a bit tougher. It's mainly just going to be trying to fit all the big studs or anybody who can be fast at the end of the race into your lineup. Hopefully nobody messes up in qualifying. I don't want a big dog starting outside the top 15. I don't want to have to deal with that chalk. Please just start everybody where they should and let the cards fly. Let people finish the race where they should finish. That's just how I look at it. Oh shit, hold on. I was just on DraftKings. Oh, whoa. Oh, I said that. I had an old link up on my contest, and the NBA slate was locked in 30 seconds, and it still had put an entry like next to 2 on my contest. I was like, what? I don't have a lineup in there yet? Nah, I did. Okay, well, that freaked me out. But yeah, hopefully everybody starts where they should, and then we can just go off of practice speed and go from there. I do want to thank one person who has made my life so much easier. I can't change the banner, Pierce, but I can help you out, guys. Listen, if you want a sheet, for the Cup Series, I'll help you in DFS Tavern. If you join DFS Tavern, if you join that Patreon, you get our sheet for free at DFS Tavern. Enzo makes an awesome sheet right there. I'm in the Discord all day. If you got any questions, I post my heat map, my player pool, what my percentages are. I put all that in the Discord for every single race throughout the weekend. But Race for the Prize, his sheet has saved me so much time this week. Go to racefortheprize.com to get your fantasy NASCAR spreadsheet. He does, as he said in one of the videos that he was advertising the sheet in. He doesn't sell you lineups. This is not a sheet to really, like, it doesn't have lineups. It just a spreadsheet telling you information that it's just a huge time saver. And he does really good work. It's probably it is the best bang for your buck sheet out there. especially for the truck and Xfinity. I don't think anybody really does that for. I mean, I think DFS Army does one. But shit, dude, that's like $40 a month or whatever it is. That's ridiculous. I don't need that. I do it all on my own anyway. As I've said before, I don't make my own sheets. I let people who are way smarter, way better at that do it for me. That's why I got Anzo for the Cup Series. That's why you can use Race for the Prize for all 3 of your series. Get it all at once there. Just want to say that out there. This isn't a sponsorship. I like Pierce. He's helped me out throughout the years with his sheet and his podcast. I thought I'd put this out there. So I am using his sheet, his information, everything for the Xfinity and the Truck Series to help me just look at everything. It's way faster. Such a huge time saver, and that's really what I want for the type of lineups I make. I don't need somebody selling me lineups. I just need information that takes me. He has the same information that I look up every single week. That takes me hours and hours and hours throughout the week to do. He has it all there already. So it's a huge time saver for me. It helps me out. Just want to say that. Hopefully you don't hate this, Pierce. I hope that works out. I don't know if I'm selling this correctly. But I just wanted to give a shout out to him and his sheet for really helping me get ready for this week, get ready for March, and get all my stuff together so I can dick around and make my own dumbass GPP lineups and either win or lose a shitload of money. What a fucking waste. Oh man, I was so frustrated. I was so frustrated Sunday for the Cup Series. I won't waste your time with it. One last thing. Okay, so 3 things really. This is not fantasy related, so you can quit listening right here. This is just me kind of talking. So, you know how they started playing Run Through the Jungle, for like the Cup Series, like their video or their promotion right before they go green or they say the national anthem. It's just fucking Vietnam flashbacks. Can somebody please edit it or in this new race just have them looking at the palm trees as Run Through the Jungle begins to play, and then just have someone scream "They're in the trees" like that? That'd be fucking amazing. There's a video out there, and this one guy set up his Alexa to play that song every time he says "Alexa, they're in the trees." Hopefully you have an Alexa near you, so I can just keep screaming "Alexa, Alexa, call 911." Sorry, I had to. And then, man, it's a shame we only go to Auto Club like once a year. They have lights. This is an amazing track. It's way better than fucking New Hampshire. Get rid of New Hampshire. Come to Auto Club twice. We got lights. We can have a night race here. It'd be so cool to have a night race here that actually, in this day and age, and that'd be pretty cool. And I think that's about it, drivers. Like I said, if you have any questions that aren't stupid, I mean, you got to give me a smart question here. I don't waste my time with stupid questions. If you have a question that you're worried about, please tweet at me or BrandonCruzDFS. And as all the Visco girls would say, I'll talk to you next time. Take care of the earth and turtles. See you next time, turtles. Save turtles. Save the chickens. Save the koalas. See you next time. Bye. Oh, yes, and the Cup Series video will be out tomorrow on DFS Tavern. Okay, bye. Turtles.